Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I am Cher, and today we're going to be doing another declutter video. It is already that time. I can't believe it. I usually like to do these once a month, and it's already been almost a month here. I wanted to go ahead and get this one out really quick and go through and do some decluttering. It's still going to be decluttering makeup today. I usually like to pick a certain category in beauty and go through and purge what's not serving me anymore, things that I just never wear, trying to purge as much as I can. If that interests you, make sure you pop that subscribe button because I do like to do this once a month. And I know that a lot of people love to see declutters. It's very almost soothing and like meditative, you know, for folks to kind of watch people clean and also to check out the collection. So today we're going to be doing base products. So anything that's kind of more for the face. In makeup, we're going to be covering like foundations, primers, concealers, and setting powders, you know, whatever powders. So let's hop in and get started. This might be the first one that's not going to be so long because I go through base. I try to use up my base products. Keep in mind, I also have a professional makeup kit. I do makeup freelance and everything. So I'm not going to be including the stuff in my freelance kit. All the good stuff, I will tell you, is in my pro makeup kit. Okay, let's get started, guys. I'm gonna go ahead first and kind of go through some of the stuff I'm currently using. Let's start off with like the order that I would do things in makeup. So let's start with primers first. The first thing I have is the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer, niacinamide. Very sticky stuff. Got this in a Ipsy, I think. I've been trying to work through it, but I probably won't buy it again for my skin type. I just find it's a power grip. It is definitely a power grip, guys. Like, but I tend to like more smoothing primers, you know, for me, and I have very dry skin. So I love like really hydrating, smoothing primers. And I will tell you that I am absolutely in love with this Lancome one. This is the priming serum from Lancome. Amazing. This was gifted to me by them. Look at this packaging, guys. Is that not gorgeous? But this gives the softest, smoothest finish on the planet. It is amazing stuff. So I'm kind of saving that as the good stuff. Definitely will repurchase that. I've also been trying to use up the last of my Arbonne. It's dirty. This is Arbonne primer. I love it too. And I use this a lot on clients, but I'm starting to move away from Arbonne as my client makeup, partly because I don't want to rely on MLMs anymore, and I don't sell it anymore, but also because they're going to be getting rid of their makeup line and sticking to just the nutrition side, which makes me kind of furious and upset, to be honest with you. I know that that's not as popular with people though. It's more the nutrition with Arbonne, but they had such a stellar base products that I loved. So I was not happy to hear that. But anyway, so I'm just kind of using up what I've got, the last of my Arbonne primer, and I have some in my kit too, but I've been replacing it. I do still use my blurring primer from Ready Set Jet. This is great for travel. So whenever I'm going somewhere, it has a cleanser on one end and a blurring primer on the other. So I will keep that. Okay. I do have an old foundation primer with sunscreen in it from Mary Kay. I think I will probably declutter that because it's very, very, very old. It was pretty good, but now that I've tried so many other primers, I don't know. I think there's a lot better primers than that, but you know, it was all right. But it's just so old, I'm going to get rid of it. Okay, I think I'll also include like facial mists. This isn't quite a primer, but it's like a facial spray beforehand. So we'll do that too. This is from Fitish. It is CBD infused facial mist, cooling, hydrating, and energizing. I love that it's like a clean brand. So, and I've liked it. I won't say that I use facial mists that much, but it is a hydrating thing. So I may actually still hang on to it. And I like this brand. Then we have Urban Decay Optical Illusion Complexion Primer. I forgot that I had this. It's kind of old, but I think I'm still going to keep it just because it's Urban Decay and I need to get rid of it. And since I don't have that much primer to, you know, I will probably go through some for personal use. So I think I'll still keep this one. I think that's actually everything for primers. Like I said, I don't have a lot, and all the good stuff is in my pro makeup kit. I have put a lot of the primers I really like in there. for my clients. So now we're going to go to, let's talk foundation. Let's start looking at like foundation that I have. There's a little bit more in this collection. So at the moment, they're very messy, sorry. I love the e.l.f. Halo Glow Filter. I've still been using it. I will repurchase this for sure. I love this stuff. If you don't know, it's kind of a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury airbrush filter, I think is the one. Love it, love it. And it has a very luminous glow. So I have dry skin and mature skin, so I need foundations that are dewy, not mattifying. So I don't do mattifying foundations. So anything in here that's going to be matte is going out the door. I also have leftover some Arbonne foundation as well that I'm trying to use up because, again, moving away from Arbonne. This is the shade Buff, is usually my shade. Other ones I go back and forth on, I have the Makeup by Mario. I did a whole review on this when it first came out. This was the Surreal Skin. My shade in it was 8 in for 8 neutral. I was not crazy about this, but I will still use it. I don't waste foundations usually unless it's just not for my skin type. So I will get to it eventually when I've gone through some of these really good ones. It's okay. It definitely had that luminous thing, but it showed a lot of texture in my opinion. So it was just not my favorite foundation. Similarly, I have the Sephora Best Skin Ever, and it was okay also. I think I may have gotten a tint that was a little too tan, or like, I don't know. I tend to like a slight touch of cool tone in mine, and this is, I don't know. It may just be the shade, but it was okay. It wasn't my favorite either. For the price, it was pretty good. I got it on the Sephora sale. I will keep that too, though. I love Mask, and I'm still working through it. This is a very small size, and I can't believe I still hadn't gotten through it. Great stuff. This is the Skin Base Foundation. Love that. Love it. I've also got L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte. This is actually matte, and I know I said I was going to throw out mattes, but this one I make an exception for. It is so good. Such good coverage for like a drugstore. Like, oh my gosh. Shade 101 is mine. Every now and then I still use it in the summertime when I'm really, really sweaty. So I'm still going to keep it. I know I said it wasn't. And then last, we actually have some old Mary Kay CC cream. This is actually decent, so I'm hanging on to it too. I like CC creams in the summer also, and it has SPF 15 in it. I'm almost done with it, so I'm just going to empty it and keep it. So these are kind of some of the ones that I like rotate between. I've also got some samples I have not gone through yet, just from other hauls. Actually, I've used some of this. This is from the Anastasia Beverly Hills foundation. I really should toss it because I'm not any of these other shades, but I still keep them around in case. I could mix like this with this to make my color. So I'm so bad about keeping even samples. I have not tried out these, but I cannot wait to. The Reboot foundation. So I got a few samples of that. And then here's another one of ABH. This was from a recent haul that I haven't used. I've tried the foundation and I like it a lot, so I'll save it to use like one time for foundation, I guess. And now I'm going to be getting to the ones that I will probably be tossing. We have some Physicians Formula Organic Wear Silk Foundation Elixir. It's just a little too, the shade is not for me. It's kind of light and old. We've also got Neutrogena Skin Clearing Oil-Free Makeup. This is a blemish treatment with salicylic acid. I thought it was a foundation, but maybe it's not. No, I think it's a foundation. I may actually hang on to it because it's still kind of the right shade, and I like Neutrogena, but it's not really a pretty full coverage usually, if I remember that correctly. So it will probably be occasional use. I've also got some e.l.f. Flawless Satin Foundation left over, 2 different shades. This is when I was first getting started with my makeup kit, and I just had I was trying different like drugstore foundations too to have as backup on shades if I didn't have them. I'm not crazy about this foundation though. One's in the shade Light Ivory, one's in Pearl. I could mix them and possibly get it to sort of my skin tone if I mix them enough, but I don't know. Do I want to keep them? Because I really don't care for this foundation. It's a medium coverage, and it just, I don't like the finish that much. I feel like it really amplifies my wrinkles, but I love e.l.f. I think I'm going to keep it as just backup. If I run out of foundation and, you know, I have to have foundation. And then, oh, here is another thing of the Neutrogena. It's a little light for me. Ooh, and it's looking a little funny. I think I'm gonna toss that. Yeah, it doesn't look good. I have Naked Skin. This is Urban Decay also. Weightless Ultra Definition Liquid Makeup. I didn't like this. Way too light. I don't do thin, light, like almost tinted moisturizers. They do nothing for me. So I'm gonna actually toss that one. Similarly, we have Best Skin Days. This was part of a collab from Iris and Romeo. I love the idea of it. It was a 5-in-1 skincare and dewy coverage. So I think it had like everything built into it. Almost like a tinted moisturizer, a CC cream, a sunscreen, and skincare all in one. And dewy, but it did nothing. It was basically, it was such a light, like it was tinted. I don't do tinted moisturizers, so we're gonna toss that. And then I have this Juvia's Place. Terrible. I love Juvia's Place, don't get me wrong, but never ever am I ever going to try their foundation sticks ever again. I'm really not going to do foundation sticks in general. Not the right finish for me at all. This was horrible. No, just no, tossing it. Then I have a bunch of like samples of Arbonne foundations when I was first getting started too, but they're all dried up and kind of gross. So I'm gonna toss those too, and they're very old. I know that they're at least 2 years old. So I'm gonna get rid of those. I just don't have a need for them because they're in all different shades. They're not even my shades. Okay, then I have several shades of Flesh, which is a good stuff, like a good brand. So they're supposed to be foundation sticks. And I think I took them, actually I got them from a friend that was giving away some blogging stuff. And I was thinking like, oh, I can use them for clients, like different skin tones and all. So obviously these are not my skin tone. However, I can use them for contour and bronze and stuff. So I'm hanging on to these, even though they're really technically foundation. Okay, I think that was all of my liquid foundation that I have on hand right now for me and my personal use. I'm gonna save the powders for last. We're gonna do concealers next. Current concealer, it is so messy. This is one thing I go through very fast is concealer, so I'm not gonna have a lot on hand probably, but right now I'm using the last of the Best Skin Ever. It's not my favorite of all, but I'm using it. It works okay. And since I go through it so fast, like I will use up what I have before I go buy more concealer. I think I got I think I got the wrong shade. It's a little too warm for what I really want. I like a little bit more cool tone, but it's all right. It has a very, it comes off as a full finish. Very creamy, very full, but over time, it just doesn't last, in my opinion, and hold up the whole day. It seems to almost like thin out. So it's like it fools you. I think when it first goes on, yes, it looks like it's going to be so full coverage and almost like a Shape Tape or like, you know, that kind of, it has that kind of consistency, but the wear of it, in my opinion, isn't as full, if that makes sense. But it's okay. Then I sometimes use the Ole Henriksen, Banana Bright Vitamin CC stick. And so this is kind of both a correcting, like it's both makeup and skincare, and you put it under the eyes, and so it treats your eyes, but it's also got like a peachy yellowy tint that's kind of helps with the dark eye circles. So that's a brightening effect. And then I also have a little bit of NYX here, kind of like a peachy under eye bag concealer. Not the best. It's okay. Not the best. It's not my top peach concealer, to be honest with you, but I have it there for like when I'm desperate. One thing I do still swear by when it comes to under eye correctors is actually the old Mary Kay. I love their peach corrector. I'm gonna see if I have any more of it. This is the regular concealer, Perfecting concealer. Very heavy, full coverage. I still really love this stuff. There's not a lot that beats the Mary Kay concealer for me. I have 2 of those. I'm gonna keep them even though they're old, but I really like them. I like the finish, so I'm gonna keep them for like when I run out of other concealer here. Ah, here they are. And then I have 2 more of the under eye. They're almost out though, so I'm just gonna try to get the last few drops, but this one has more of that peachy tint. Such good stuff. So definitely keeping all of these, even though, like I said, they're old. You're not gonna see me get rid of a lot of concealer because that's, I go through it. So I really don't have a lot left. My favorites are Shape Tape. I used up all my Shape Tape, other than what's in my Pro Makeup kit. And then I also love the Maybelline, you know, instant rewind, age rewind. I use that a lot on my clients. That's my main one. That one and Shape Tape are my main 2 that I use. There's a couple others I like, but those are my favorites. And so, but I've got them saved and stocked up in my Pro kit right now. I don't have any for personal use at the moment. I've gone through them all. But then I do have this, hang on just a second, this big kit thing from Temu. I got this a while back just to play with it and test it out and see, like, is it possible to even use this on clients? Let's see what it's like. And I really actually, I do like it for me, okay? But I don't feel the quality that I would really use this on clients. It doesn't hold up a lot, but it's good for my everyday here. And as you can see, I've used my colors here. You can honestly use it for foundation, contour, concealer, correctors, everything, even blush, because see, there's some like blush colors up here, as a cream product, cream-based product. So I've got this on hand too as backup, and I use it occasionally. You've got some color correcting in here too. Yeah, you got everything that you could use. So I don't care for foundation. Don't care for it as foundation, but I have definitely used it as contour and as for concealer and corrector. So it's pretty cool. I love camo concealer. I do have extra of it. Air beige, very cool toned, like light finish. So I do have more of that concealer. I need to remember that. So I'll probably use that next. Oh, and I have more NYX color corrector too. So I had 2 of these. This one is more, yeah, that's still a peach tint also. And then I also forgot the LA Girl white concealer. I do have this. I almost forgot it. I use this more for like a cut crease because it's a lot more white and bright. So I'll tend to use that more like on the eyes. Let's move on to powders now. So the current setting powder I've been using and just trying to use up, this has lasted me forever, is that Real Her Set Your Goal Blurring Veil. I've been using this as my loose setting powder. It's a little warm toned more than I like, but it's actually a good powder in and of itself. I think I just didn't like the tone of it. But I've been using this. Like I said, it's lasted forever, and I think I got it in a Boxy or a Ipsy a long time ago. So that's been my main setting powder recently that I've been using, but I definitely like a drugstore setting powder that I use a lot. The drugstore option is the Coty Airspun Loose Powder, and it's just original formula. I just get translucent. This is naturally neutral, so that's perfect for me. Really light color. Love this as the drugstore. But then my absolute ride or die is always Laura Mercier, and I use it both for me and for clients too. So I have this I stock up on all the time. So those are my main loose powders. Now for finish, oh wait, let's see if there's other loose powders in here. Those are the ones that I just use all the time and I'm using currently. This is an old Mary Kay mineral foundation, powder foundation, kind of like a, yeah, foundation powder, like finishing powder. I am probably going to toss it. It's not the right color for me. It's old AF and I am just, no. And I don't do mineral, way too drying for my dry skin. So we're going to toss that. So this is an old CoverGirl cream, more of a cream foundation. Not a great finish for me. This was so long ago and terrible for my dry skin. So even though it's cream, we don't do that. We do nice liquid foundation, period, on my skin. So I will toss that. This is Urban Decay, and this is a pressed powder. And I'll keep it. It's good. Illuminizer, actually. It's a translucent pressed beauty powder. And it has, you flip it up and it has a little sponge under it. Occasionally I use it, so I'm still going to keep it. I don't do a lot of pressed powders. I usually kind of do like loose powder, but pressed is a little better for mature skin. So I should do more pressed ones. I will definitely be tossing this, the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear. Worst stuff on the planet for my skin. I bought it a long time ago just to try as a beauty blogger because everybody talked about it and loved this stuff. Horrible. Horrible. I hated it. Beyond hated it. I have not touched it since. First of all, it's the wrong shade for me. But it is so drying, and it did not work as a foundation or a powder, in my opinion, and just, we're going to toss it. Terrible. Okay, and then what I tend to use right now is more Arbonne. This is the Second Nature powders. I'm just trying to use it up. I've hit pan finally. But again, just trying to go through all my Arbonne, and I have another shade of it for me too. I use the light shade, so I'll just keep using these up for me. And I use a lot of these in my kit too. I'm just going to use them all up, but I'm slowly replacing them, especially with Makeup Forever finishing powders. And I do have more samples of that here. So this is what I've started using on my clients. I've also got the e.l.f. Camo powder foundation, and this is pretty good too. It's hard to find a shade, but I liked it also. It was pretty darn good. So a good drugstore option. And so I'm keeping that also. I think that's all my powders. Again, powders are another thing, you know, I use every day and go through kind of like concealers. So I don't have a huge amount of them. Oh, actually, you know what? I do have, this was from Woosh Beauty, and I have depotted most everything in it, put a few things that I loved. And I also used up a lot of stuff, but I did depot a lot of it. It's kind of like an all-in-one face palette from Woosh Beauty. Awesome, awesome palette. But I hit pan on the ones I love the most, and then I depotted a couple from my makeup kit with my magnetic pan. But I left these alone. These are setting powders that came with it, and I just don't care for them. I love everything else in this palette, and I'm still using the contour. I'm almost done with it. But the setting powders in it, I'm just not crazy about. They're too matte. I don't know. So I think that's everything there. Let's move on to setting sprays now. So I put a lot of my good setting sprays in my makeup kit, like I said before, and a lot of these sprays have come from my Ipsy or BoxyCharm. We get a lot of those, it seems. Maybe a couple I've bought on my own, I don't know. But so I just recently got the Benefit Pore Professional Super Setter. I may put that in my kit. This is from the Toy Factory, and it's good stuff. It's a super set. It has hyaluronic acid in it, so great for my skin. And I tend to like dewy setting sprays also rather than matte. So that's what I kind of pick for me. I like that one. We definitely got that in Boxy, I think. I've got an old Mary Kay setting spray, but it was in partnership with Skindinavia, whatever the name of that brand is. So, and it's pretty good. So I've kept it, even though it's old. We have D&M Dear Midnight Set to Last setting spray. I think we got that in Boxy. I don't know the brand well, but it was all right too. So I've kept it. I pretty much am keeping all my setting sprays, I think. And then I have more of the Fit-ish, Don't Sweat It, Prep setting spray, clean brand that I really like. And that's it. So those are all the ones I have for my personal use, and I will probably just hang on to all those. I'm not going to declutter. So that's everything today, guys. Even though I feel like I still went long, it just doesn't seem like there was as much stuff. It wasn't as overloaded, but I did get rid of a few things, especially the old ones and things that just did not work with my skin. That's going to wrap it up though, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Make sure you stay tuned. Keep the subscribe button on for more like this in the future. That will do it for now. So I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.